Hello everyone, Namaskar. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys have seen yesterday's video with Dr. Badani, जहाँ पे मैंने डॉक्टर राजीव बदानी के साथ बातचीत की और जो बैक का प्रॉब्लम है, जो हेल्थ का इश्यूज है, जो टिपिकली ट्रेडर्स और इन्वेस्टर्स हम लोग सब फेस करते हैं आफ्टर अ पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, उसके बारे में मैंने डिटेल चर्चा की है. तो इफ यू नॉट सीन दैट वीडियो, you better see that video. In this video, I'm just going to do casual conversation with you and discuss what potentially can happen in market next week. I've always said this earlier that everyone who tries to predict the market, about the future of the market, all of us are doing some kind of a guesswork. Okay, no one can say for sure that this will happen to the market. We all are, doing guesswork depending upon our interpretation of data. Finally, market is an outcome of data, right? Multiple set of data points. And there's a probability which help us to predict what could potentially go with the market. So in this video also, I'm trying to do the same thing based on the framework which I have established for myself, and I want to share with you. I've been recording weekend videos earlier also, but due to my time constraint, due to my other activities, I was not able to do it earlier. But I hope that I do this every Sunday so that we all collectively try to predict the action of market for next week. Okay. So let me do a screen sharing and go through that framework which I have established for myself. I have earlier recorded a video on this framework. मैंने इस पे एक framework पे वीडियो बनाया था, तो मैं आपके साथ में framework वापस से डिस्कस कर लेता हूँ. My framework is very simple: 10,000 feet, 1,000 feet, 100 feet, and 10 feet. Okay. 10,000 feet view is making a view about dollar index, making a view about global markets, how it works, how it's working right now. 1,000 feet view is global Indian indices and the breadth of the market, whether market is oversold or overbought. 100 feet view is typically sector rotation and which sector is seeing interest depending upon the latest results of the section as well as the current buying propensity or selling propensity in the sector. And the 10 feet view is the stocks to watch, which this whole framework, I will try to cover this framework in this entire discussion. All right. So let's go to first, which is a 10,000 feet view. Now, 10,000 feet view is about dollar index and global markets. Okay. So this is dollar index. This is where Nifty is. And let us let us go to the other watch list here, which is global. Yeah. All right. So to try to predict the dollar index movement, we need to see what's happening with the US yield curve. Okay. If you look at the structure of US yield curve, it is in downtrend. That means that there is no hurry of interest rates going up in US, which is a very, very good sign as far as Indian market is concerned. Okay. Whenever US yield curve goes down, the dollar index will tend to remain low. Dollar index, if you can see the graph here, dollar index tried to go up here, but then it took a major resistance here and again changed the trend to downtrend, largely led by the US yield curve. Okay, remember this relationship. Always remember this. And this holds forever. So dollar index is down. That means equity market should go up. Now let us see some equity market, global equity market, for our understanding of what's happening in global equities. So this is Dow Jones, S&P 500. You see, it's almost at a high point. This is mini Dow Jones, which is again almost at a high point. Just couple of percentage down from the high point. How much percentage down? Almost 2% down only from the high point. If you look at Nasdaq, it's all-time high. It's very, very high. So all the tech stocks are firing guns, and equity market in US is definitely going up. Now let us look at the emerging market index. So it is also at a high point because dollar index is at a low point. So emerging market index will also at a high point. But if you look at Nifty versus emerging market index, we have received quite a pounding in market. We are underperforming the emerging market index. That's the area of concern, that why are we underperforming? Well, it's not a secret. We all know that what Donald Trump is doing, and based on his actions of high tariff in India, suddenly there is a belief globally that India is no more an attractive destination from FPI perspective, because India exposed to US, and if there's a high tariff, then obviously Indian businesses will suffer, etc., etc., etc. But I want to go back to that core philosophy of why Indian market was in a bullish market. A, because of demography. We are a 28-year-old nation. 28. Our average age is 28-year-old. Government has been pushing a lot to boost consumption in India by decreasing the interest rates, by increasing the liquidity in the system. Uh, Government has been boosting infrastructure spending also. So there are a lot of things which has happened in India in last 5 years. Tax rationalization, GST, and so many things which has happened. Obviously, there is scope of improvement, because what has not happened in India for many, many years is happening in last 10, 12 years. And I'm not talking from any specific government perspective, but it is more the feel of our country has changed significantly. So if the hypothesis that India is a story of coming 10 years, 15 years, if you believe in that hypothesis, then I think this underperformance is very, very temporary. And somehow I feel that at some point of time, people will realize the macro benefit of the country like India. And again, a new buying will emerge from the lower levels. That's more fundamental view, which I'm developing for our country now. Having said that, we will also have to see the liquidity flow, whether money is started flowing in our country or not. If we look at the FII data, if you look at this FII data statistics, then definitely FIs have been very, very bearish about India, because Mr. Donald Trump has been kind of very bearish about our country. So FIs, they don't like a country where there is no global support, especially from America. And America is a country which supplies capital globally because of its dominance of dollar. So that's obviously one of the reasons why FPIs, or people who invest in secondary market in India, becomes kind of digidite. So possibly this negativity is driving negative inside our country. By the way, domestic institutions are buying, because SIP is growing. SIP is there. We are not, as a country, we have not decided that we will sell our equity market. So our investors are still there. There are 20 crore demat account which is there in our country. So macro, I think India is still very solid. Micro, there is certain restriction, there is certain corrections which we are witnessing, which is actually an opportunity. So globally, dollar index and global market, everything looks positive. Just that one person is driving negativity in our country right now. If you look at India indices, so yes, the trend is very negative. You see 2 hourly chart of all major indices, this is negative. But if I convert this into, say, from a longer tenure perspective, if I convert this into a weekly chart of all the major indices, it is positive. Okay. That means that if you are intended to participate in Indian market with a view of few quarters or years, then I think Indian market is still in a long-term bull, structural bull. But in short term, Indian market is witnessing some correction because of actions of that particular person. Can we bottom fish? Can we time the market? The answer is very difficult to do that, because we don't know when market will recover, when new buying will emerge, aggressive buying will emerge. But definitely we can look at the market breadth inside Stockage. And this market breadth can give us an indication of whether we are oversold or overbought. You see this one? If you look at Nifty 50, we are almost reaching an oversold zone. If you look at Nifty 500, this is short-term oversold is quite evident right now. So market can actually take support at a level which could be a very, very important level for the market. So what could be an important level? If you see Nifty, this is 200-day moving average, which is 24,200. I have a very strong belief that for a market to remain in structural bull market, 20-day, 200-day moving average has to be respected. I feel that 24,200 will be respected. And today we are at 24,360. Probably market will react. Maybe market will go to 24,000 or 24,200. I think market should bounce back from here, considering if market falls by another 200 points, there will be oversell in the market. Market will be oversold, and there will be some buying which will emerge again. But will that buying lead to a trend change? It's too early to give that indication. Trend change is always seen from a perspective of global market. So since dollar index is still in a kind of a downtrend, there is no reason why we should not believe that market will reverse from here. Okay. But if dollar index starts going up, then the question of trend change has to be revisited again. All right. So 10,000 feet view, positive. 1,000 feet view, oversold market. Possibly market will recover from lower levels. 100 feet view. So before I go to 100 feet view, I want to talk about a very, very important release, which we have just released in Stockage last week, which will help you to identify stocks which are relevant for you. Okay. In fact, let me do that. Let me go to a sector rotation first and give you a 100 feet view, which is this. So which are the sectors where there is strength right now? So better you go to industry, because in industry you will see clear cut greens. So diesel engines, finance, asset management, e-commerce, diversified, paints, uh, courier service. These are the industries, automobile too. These are the industries where there is a strength in breadth, reflected in breadth. Okay. If you look at sectors, the same thing. You can look at the sector-wise, the diversified infrastructure sector. Okay. But every sector will have industry. Let's go to infrastructure sector. And if you look at industry, in infrastructure, construction, engineering construction is extremely strong. If I go inside this, look at the breadth. It's very, very positive. The first time the breadth became positive when overall market cap was 9 lakh crore. Right now it's 8 lakh 81,000 crore, and the breadth is still positive. That means this sector has to be seen, this industry has to be seen in a positive frame. Which are the stocks in this sector which are positive? So L&T is positive based on the momentum score. L&T is positive. When all three are positive, that's where I feel you should participate, because there is a clear indication that market is positive in that particular sector. Okay. Let's go to diversified. Let's go to momentum score here. In diversified, let's go inside. Let's see the momentum score. So which stock is positive here? 3M is positive. DCM Shriman is positive, but it's still yellow. I will wait for this to become green. So any stock which is all three green is something which I will be interested in looking at building position, because there is a high chance that the stock will continue to show strength in days to come. Okay, that's the beauty of the momentum score, proprietary indicator which we have developed. Now, let me highlight an important update which we have given in Stockage, which is exceptionally good. Okay. When you go to Stockage, there is something called check the latest update. Go there. You see there is something called enhancement in my combo scan. Okay. Go inside this. Now what we have done is you can create multiple my combination. So earlier there were restrictions of 10 combinations. Now you can increase it to 50 depending upon your subscription plan. You can pin your combination depending upon which combination you use actively. And third, and the most important, is the combination which you have created. You can actually test the combination by activating or deactivating any particular parameter. So you see, I have created a combination and I have deactivated this. That means my combination result without this will be shown. And if I activate this, my combination result, the perfect match, will also include this particular thing which has been activated. So this will help people who are creating their own combination to create in a much better manner. Okay. Second, you can actually share this combination with public or with your friends. Okay. For example, I am trying to share this combination to my friend. I will post his or her email ID and I will invite and share the link over WhatsApp or over email wherever you want to share. Okay. By doing that, you're actually creating a private network of people who are creating scans together. Or you can do a public sharing. So let's do public sharing. So when I invite, a link will be created, and that link I can share in public forums. It could be in WhatsApp groups or in social media or wherever. Once I do that, you will be able to access my combination scan and just click and you see the stocks which I am following. Where will that indication, where will that scan come? Here, shared with me. Here, the scan will be, you can actually clone that and make it your own by just copying this. There is a clone option there. You can clone it by just clicking it. By doing this, you're actually following those stocks where even I am following. And you can also create your own combinations and follow. This is just the starting. Very soon, we will also allow you, right now, when you create any combination scan, you are restricted to only the scans which is available here. Our team is working very hard to give you things beyond what is mentioned here, which I will inform you once we have released the same. All right. So the brief discussion is that market looks very interesting. Market looks very oversold. Probably a recovery is expected, but whether that recovery will lead to trend change, that is something which time will say. If you're an investor, I think you should buy Indian markets because the macro remains very, very solid. We are a consumption driven economy. We are not an export driven economy. So, yes, there is a negativity which has been thrown on us by Mr. Trump. Uh, I feel that there is a lot to do with Pakistan than to his own country. But the way there is a upsurge in negativity around Trump in US itself, I think Trump has to come back, set back, and become more sane in his decision making. I'm sure the local Congress there is looking at what he is doing, and they will try to make sure that Trump behaves logically and more maturely. Having said that, I think it's an opportunity for people who believe in India's story, who believe in investing for long term, who believe in giving wealth to their kids. I think these are opportunities you should not miss to add stocks which you are holding for long term. But as far as momentum is concerned, I think momentum is only confirmed once the momentum gets originated again. And once the market takes a support and starts that consolidation phase or a recovery phase, that's where the momentum will start again. And you will love to participate in that momentum. So have a clear segregated portfolio, one for value investing long term and one for momentum. If you do that, I think that's where you will be able to create a solid edge for yourself. All right. Thank you. I hope you like the video. I hope you will follow what I'm saying. And thanks for remaining part of the Stockage family. It's your support which is helping us to grow with you together. All right. Thank you. Bye. Have a good day. Bye.